Effectiveness, I believe, is what's on the heart of God. For us, always has been, but I think coming out of what we've come out of and going into what we're going into, we've been released from many things. I keep saying in 2020, I felt God say it's a season of release, and then we all got shut down a few months later. But I do think, looking back, we've been released from things in order to be released into greater things. And now it requires of us to look for effectiveness, to be effective and to stay effective. And I want to talk a little around that. Colossians chapter 1 in verse 15, speaking of the supremacy of Christ, it says, "The Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For in him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities, all things have been created through him and for him." I love reading this because it just brings us back to it all is about him and it all revolves around Jesus. Verse 17, "He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. And he is the head of the body, the church, and he's the beginning and the firstborn from among the dead, so that in everything, in all things, in everything, he will have supremacy, be preeminent. He will have first place in everything." I do think that Jesus is prominent in many of our ministries and in our lives and in the church, but he doesn't want to be prominent. He wants to be preeminent. And I think, again, trying to read the season of what we've come out of as the church around the world globally, I do think there has been a resetting of our head back in place. Jesus Christ central to everything we do and everything we say. We've often said our Christology determines our missiology. And I'm talking about effectiveness today with you. And I want to just say that it's our Christology, our revelation of Jesus, that will determine our missiology. And our missiology is to determine our ecclesiology. And so it matters more than anything about our revelation of Jesus. And it's not this one-off. It's this ongoing revelation of putting Jesus first in everything. If we focus on Christ, he will help us focus on our mission, the right mission, which will help us shape the church. And so we've often said and begin to say more and more that the mission or that the main thing is to keep the main one, that's being Jesus, the main thing. So please, leaders, let's keep this revelation and reality more and more.